Chapter 3 is all about graphing. Let's start by learning about transformations. Some key vocabulary that we'll be using for this unit is transformations, mapping, and images. So I can say that a transformation is a rule that takes a set of points and produces another set of points. For example, this triangle might follow a rule to produce this triangle. A transformation transforms or maps the original point to another point. Pause the movie and write down these two very important statements into your notes. We talk in transformations about mapping an original symbol or an original image to a new image. We are going to use this arrow right here for mapping or transforming a figure. Copy this entire section into your notes so that you know what this symbol stands for. So let's look at an example. If I want to map or transform my point xy to this new image following this rule, I might say, if you perform the transformation xy transform to x plus 3y on the point 5, 12, what would be the result? You would say 5, 12 maps to blank, blank, or you would say 5, 12 transforms to blank, blank. Use what you know about algebra to fill in these missing points. Make sure you copy the instructions as well so that you have good information for studying for your next test. When you have completed copying this down and you filled these points in, push play to see how you did. Let's see how you did. This particular transformation means we're going to change it by taking the x value and adding 3. At this point, we can see that the y remains exactly the same. So if I'm going to do this rule to point 5, 12, you should have taken 5 and made it 8. And then the 12 would have stayed the same. Now, whether I say map or transforms, we still would use the same points. Make sure this is what you have in your notes. If not, change it so that you have the correct information. Now let's apply what you just learned about mapping and transformations to an actual graph. I would like for you to pause the movie and copy this graph and the triangle into your notes. Once you've copied it, I would like you to perform the transformation where x, y maps to 3 or x plus 3, y, and then graph that new image with the triangle that you already graphed. Press play to see how you did. So typically when I do problems like this, I like to write the points down first. So I'm going to write this point. This is the point 2, 1. And that is the point L. And then the point R is going to be the point -4, 0. And then the point T is going to be the point -5, 4. So these are just the points that I was able to identify on this graph. So let's write the points of the transformation. When we do a transformation, we're going to use these little symbols. We're going to use L with a little line over it, which means it's the new triangle or the transformed image. R with a little line over it, and T with a little line over it. If I follow this rule, I can see that x is going to be added by 3 and y is going to stay the same. So 2 plus 3 would give me 5. The y stays the same. Negative 4 plus 3 would be negative 1, and the y stays the same. And then negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, and the y stays the same. So what does that new image look like on your graph? Well, let's check your work. Negative 5, 4 is now negative 2, 4. So negative 2 and up 4. So that becomes my new t. Negative 1, 0 right here. And that becomes my new r. And then negative 2, 4. Negative 2, oops, I did that one already, I'm sorry. And the last one is 5, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 would be up here. And that would be the point L, the new L. And here, it's essentially the same triangle, but it has just been moved over to the right 3 places. We actually call this a translation, but you don't need to know that right now. Make sure that you have these notes, the old image and the new image points, as well as the graph in your notes. Last but not least, it's very important that you know your 4 quadrants. We've learned these before, but just as a review, we know that the quadrant that we used in elementary school with all positives is quadrant 1. From there, we just work backwards or counterclockwise. This is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. I would like for you to please write 1 point from each of these quadrants. Bring your notes to class tomorrow, and we will check them. Have a good day.